Welcome back. This is Kyle with All in Survival, and today we're going to talk about monetary instruments. All right, monetary instruments. In today's day and age, we often when we think of monetary instruments, we think of our debit card, our credit card, and good old greenbacks. But when we start to mill this over in our mind, as a preparedness mindset takes over, we start to think of how can that system go wrong, right? What can go wrong? Well, you could wake up tomorrow and your 401k could be worthless. It really is just a possibility. Also, the value of our dollar, US currency, is dictated by the rest of the world. We don't decide how much it's worth. The rest of the world does. So, at some point, they could deem us unworthy to hold the dollar as a reserve currency, and poof, the value could drop. Also, we could talk a little bit about inflation, and what your dollar is worth today may not be worth what it is tomorrow. So the value, if the inflation goes like this, the value does the complete opposite. So therefore, your buying power could go down dramatically. I'm making this video today because I walk around the office and I hear gentlemen who make a fairly good living, and they worry about their retirement, they worry about making money, and all I hear is, I invested in this stock, or I put money into this portion of my 401k. And where I do believe that you should have some in a 401k, I also think about contingencies. Contingencies are where we live with the preparedness mindset. So, how do we keep from losing everything? Well, we diversify, and you've heard that term in many other ways, but I'm pretty sure that they're not saying it diversify the way that I am. So now, let's talk about a couple of different currencies that could be available to you with a preparedness mindset. So the first one we're going to talk about is silver, right? In my hand, I have 4 different types of currency. This is a monetary instrument, and this is not an official coin minted by the United States or any other country, so it's considered a round. And because it's considered the same thing as this, there isn't a premium on it. So if you go out and you buy an actual US minted silver coin, there's always going to be what the spot price is and what they're going to sell it for you. And there's always a markup. So if you want a better value, we go with a round. Also, you could get into what's called junk silver. And usually, you'll have to look this up. There's tons of information on it. But junk silver is anything older than about 1965, when about 90% of this dime was still in silver. You can still buy this on the open market, and they're pretty reputable. But right now, it's difficult to buy gold and silver because everybody is trying to diversify. So let's talk about this, right? We call this silver, right? And this is in the shape of a 45 ACP, right? And this is kind of playing homage to the fact that silver's been used as a monetary instrument, but so has ammunition, right? We'll get into that. So if I bought this 5 years ago at $16 an ounce, and it is now worth 20 something dollars an ounce, depending on the day, maybe about $23 an ounce, how much did I make, right? Is my percentage, have I done well? Of course. This is a pretty good investment, right? But you're only going to make a couple of dollars off of selling it if you sell it. Hold on to it. It will always be worth something. All right. Same thing with gold, right? A little harder to get your hands on. It's a little more difficult, but this 1 ounce gold coin I bought about 8 years ago at about $1,100 an ounce. I'm pretty sure last month it cracked nearly $2,000 an ounce. Therefore, what did I make on this coin? The value is almost doubled, right? So, what, about an 80%? People trying to invest their money in the stock market would kill for an 80%. So, all right, so next let's talk about firearms. Can you consider for a moment that a firearm might be an investment? Or might even be considered a monetary instrument? So let's say a few years ago, I decided I wanted to run out and take $1,000 and I could have purchased 2 brand new handguns. Put them in my safe. Do you think that if I wanted to sell them today, I might make a little profit? Well, I think the answer is pretty much yes, because if you go into most gun shops right now, the shelves are basically empty. So absolutely, I can make a couple of $100s on each of them. So that's putting me maybe at a 40% investment, gain on that. So yes, it is. It could be something. It's not speculatory, meaning that it may be worth nothing. It may be worth a lot. When you drop money into the stock market, it's speculatory. You're hoping that the stock market will continue to go up. But there's no for sure on that. So the next thing we'll talk about is ammunition, right? Is this a monetary instrument? I mean, the actual answer is no. But if I needed something and somebody else needed ammunition, I could very much easily trade this. Or in however you want to put it, I'm selling each of these rounds for something that I do need, right? Even if I could get this right now, which is nearly impossible, these are specialty rounds, I couldn't buy this even if I wanted to, which makes them very, very valuable right now. So is that considered a monetary instrument? We need to think outside the box a little bit. In my opinion, it is. I didn't spend money to buy this. I transferred the value of greenback money into the value of this particular product. These are assets. All right, next let's talk a little bit about food. All right. Something as silly as a mountain house, right? Or a good old MRE, right? We'll talk about these. Could these be considered a monetary instrument? Technically, no. But let's say I had an extra 20 or 30 packages of this, and somebody did not have 20, 30 packages of this, and something went wrong. Do you think I could trade this for maybe a product that I do need? So yes, the value of this is not speculatory. This will almost always be worth something. And that's what we need to keep in mind. These are worth $10 right now. When I bought them, they were at $6. If you can even find these on the market, right? So think about how many products are there out there that you can turn your cash that you might be just sitting in the bank into actual assets, right? So are there any other things that you can think of that you might buy today that might be worth something, will always be worth something, and might be worth more in the long run? Put those in the comments. Once again, if you've liked this, if you've learned anything, I appreciate your support. As always, be safe out there.